This is Mr. J. Installment 2 of the 10 questions edition. Plug in. We're about 8 hours away from the release date.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it's going down. L'Daialogue Dicaprio, live from LA, sunny
Yes,
LA, on the grind with the mask on, staying
Yep.
safe, getting that work done, making that money.
Yeah. It ain't
How you
stopping
feeling?
me.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling all right. I'm blessed. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, everybody should be blessed, but I'm blessed out here, man. Just still moving, shaking,
Definitely.
trying to stack up.
Hey,
Yep.
look, before we even go into all the questions, I don't have a bottle or a glass or anything, but cheers to you and all the work that you've done, because this project I'm saying it's a classic and it sounds classical, and it's just pleasant to the ears, and even the people who heard a little piece of it last month, they giving that nod. So
Okay.
thumbs up. We here.
North Memphis.
North Memphis.
But yeah, man, man, just staying productive with it, and good music, man. This is showing you. I mean, amongst all the pandemic stuff, it's like, man,
Definitely.
it's ain't making the club banger. There ain't nobody in the club. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody's in the club. Everybody at the house and in the car.
Everybody
so
at the house.
The whole thing got the bump.
And just got to talk about something, because, I mean, it's real right now. All the stuff that, the so-called conscience or whatever, like now they looking like super duper geniuses. Like, man,
right.
It's really real. Yeah, it can get that real. And it is that real.
The crazy part is it's so bad that you got people, well, not only the versus thing, but you got a lot of people who going back at least 10 years just digging up old records that were good, because whatever new isn't really appeasing to their appetite. So
True.
I'm excited. All right, so look, first question. What's your favorite song on this new album, Plugged In?
I don't know. I go back and forth between, I mean, it's depending on mood. Like I like 50 Spindle just because 50 Pack Spindles, because like, man, we that's every song is real. Every song is like real to the core. But that song, like, man, I remember, man, I'm about to go back through some boxes and find the old tapes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like, man, we came through a grind that a lot of folks won't know ever. Like now, I was just trying to upgrade a laptop. It ain't no more CD players on the laptop. Barely any USB drives, for real. They're reducing it. Like, it's gonna be like, we talk about that. It's gonna be how our pop talk about 8 tracks.
Yeah.
Really, no, I'm saying 8 tracks, because you still find a tape. You can't find no 8 track.
But
barely.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, some cars still have CD players, but there are no cassette decks in the cars anymore. That's real. That's real. And just to piggyback on that whole topic about the CDs, like, that song is so deep, because when we were really out there, going hand in hand, making these deals and transactions with our own CDs and our own product, you would actually make a transaction and something good, or it might come threefold. Like, I remember after Katrina, in the street with the J Squared after the storm, and I rolled up on a radio truck, and next thing I know, I got a job, because they're like, we don't have nobody to DJ or the engineer at the station. I was like, I do that too. And so, it just rolls. And people don't forget that, that hand-to-hand personal transaction. And these kids, they don't understand that today. An email and a post and a like not gonna get that for you. You actually have to sell yourself, not just your product, no matter how good or how bad it was. If your pitch wasn't good, then you done.
Yep. You're not lying about that. And I mean, I remember back when we would sell batches, like when people would hear the mixtape and be like, yo, I want everything you got. You like, what? So you would go back and I would sell like these 20 packs of up to that point be like 5 or 6 tapes. And people were bumping. They would have L'Daialogue Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume whatever that volume was. And I was selling like batches of slim jewel cases of just, I mean, I got so many stories, like, I mean, and especially after the storm, but
after the storm, you was really popping. But I want to really talk about before the storm, because like I remember listening to your first, and like I thought it was a joke at first. Like it was a lot going on. The cover was busy. You had about 20 something tracks on there. You know, some originals. You know, some beat jacks, but y'all was spitting. And then y'all have y'all make your own commercials and skits, which was hilarious. And I was like, man, what these dudes doing? But you know, so I noticed that one. But then like that second one, I was like, oh, he's serious. And I might have heard the second one. It might have been a second going to the third one, because all I know after that second one we heard, and that was around the time when OT was like, yo, we need to go get this dude. You know what I'm saying? And it just got crazy. I was like, ooh, wee. So I mean, your hustle game was sick. Like I said, late 90s, like it was going down.
I'm gonna tell you, I think I might have told you, but I just remembered it because of this. I guess you would say like this little scandal that kind of happened with Khaled. But the 3 people I used to buy those like instrumental CDs from was DJ E.F. Cudden,
right,
at Odyssey, DJ Dynamite Dave Soul, shouts out, and DJ Khaled. And the reason the reason I didn't remember him was because he was skinny back then. But I knew it was no, his name was Khalid.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, like I remember him because like I would go in the little dollar bins and, you know what I'm saying, get like instrumentals, because I mean I was making stuff, but then I could bring some of my equipment back from Memphis to New Orleans, so I was doing the beat jack thing. So yeah, I was getting it from him.
Bruh, man, I mean, we talking about record stores that actually had the vinyl, the tapes and the CDs.
Yep.
And man, like, I mean, so people who don't know, we talking about in New Orleans, Odyssey Records in New Orleans. So DJ Khaled was there, Dave Soul, E.F. Cudden, but that was a hub of the hip hop community, because you had Odyssey Records, that was on Canal, right?
No, the Odyssey Records I went to was right across the street from Xavier. It was in Holly Grove.
It was uptown, okay.
It was by the Big Lots. Well, it was the Big Lots. It was way in the back.
Yeah, well, that's funny because Dave used to stay right behind that. We used to
Dave stayed in Holly Grove, yeah.
Yeah, when we used to DJ at Ampersand, that's funny. But like between there and Peaches, and that's where everybody was, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And man, those days were like very awesome, because one, people actually bought records, you know, 2, you know, even if you didn't buy anything, you know, just a good experience. Because you will see artists in there, you'll see DJs. It's just a place to meet up. You know, you can't do that anymore.
Well, yeah, especially now.
Not in South Louisiana.
No.
Maybe in LA. What y'all got, swap meets and stuff?
Nah, man, everything closing, man. Like when I got out here, they had the spot called 33 and the 3rd off Pico. That junk closed. They had one called Amoeba Records. Amoeba Records now is closing behind the coronavirus. VIP in Long Beach, Snoop Dogg, where he was, you know, shot. What's My Name? I think that's still open, but then it closed. I'm not sure if that's still open. But most of the, I think Ab Soul Pops had a record store. So it's like a lot of the record stores in Los Angeles was like non-existent. And then they had Fat Beats. Fat Beats used to, it was a Fat Beats on Melrose, and then they had left for like a long time because House Shoes, DJ House Shoes used to be over there. And that's where I would see everybody. I was standing on the corner one time. I was standing on the corner talking to Percy P, the underground legend. And while I'm talking to him, Range Rover pulls by. Like, what's up? What up? It was Spliff Star from Flip Mode. Like, what's up?
That was in Los Angeles?
Like, yeah, it was LA. Just random.
See, and that's the funny part, because, you know, especially those East Coast cats, they were talking about, man, it took a while for them to really come out there. You know, after
Nah,
the Biggie stuff and all that. But
East Coast niggas
yeah,
get love out here.
Niggas be in LA just chilling, huh?
East Coast niggas get love. I seen Black Milk there. I mean, obviously Fonte. I know Fonte. Kev Brown. Like every time they would have somebody come through, like that was the first time I met Freddie Gibbs. It's a picture. Actually, the picture, I have 2 pictures with Freddie Gibbs. The first picture I have is outside of Fat Beats. And then the second picture I have is like on Fairfax. It's a store called Dope. No, it is called Dope. It's a store called Dope on Fairfax. It's like 3 or 4 doors down from the Odd Future, the old Odd Future store that they used to have.
Oh, they had a store?
Yeah, they had a store. Like Tyler just has a store now called Golf. Like Golf Wayne.
That's where he sells clothes at.
Yeah, but they had one that was literally a few stores up from the one that he has now, and that was what all the Odd Future dudes. And you know, shoot, they had that. I mean, Tyler is in his 20s. They had that when they was teenagers. I was like, man.
Yeah, you said that's where you seen a Lamborghini at, huh?
No. He had the S550 with the suicide doors. He had the long. I call it the long body Mercedes. Like once you get higher than the I'm sorry, not the S500. Well, I mean it was 550, whatever. But like he had the suicide doors on it, so it means you had to modify the car already expensive. You had to modify it to make the doors go up. And I was looking at them. And it was him, Earl, because Earl had just came back from the boarding school. All the Odd Future dudes in the TMZ truck was like, hey, look at them. You can see them like, fuck you. Like throwing up like they were kids though. Like, man, get your ass away from over here. You know, so they used to run Fairfax for a minute. Like all skateboard, it was like black kids to skateboard. Like all those Lupe Fiasco babies used to be over there. So, you know, definitely.
Cool. Yeah,
what's up?
Reese in the house.
What's up, Reese?
You gonna ask a question today? I mean, this is 10 questions. You don't have a question anymore?
No.
Okay.
All right.
He fanning right now. He like, oh yeah, that's the man right there.
Yeah, we plug in. You know, ain't no.
He's driving. He's doing everything he needs to do the right way.
No, I'm sitting in the car now. Yeah, it was too sunny. That's how hot it is. Like I had the sun on. I just went on the other side of the street up under this tree.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was your question. It's hot out there. Yes.
Yeah, it's hot. It's let me look at mine. Well, it says it's 76 degrees, but I don't feel like 76. I feel like 86.
There it is.
Maybe because I'm in a black car, but.
So look, this is what I really want. I've been dying to ask you.
Yo.
Okay, so back in the day, you had a song called, what is it, Big Brown Van?
Yeah.
That's like, I always tell you that, it's like my favorite. Like my favorite song that you've ever done. Give the listeners some insight on just like why you recorded that song. What's the theme behind it? Because I think I know, but I don't want to spoil it for everybody who haven't heard it. Because it's dope.
Yeah, Big Brown Van. I mean, I owned a Big Brown Van before my pop sold that junk. I had a 480 Econoline 1985 with a 380 in the engine, and that was my whip. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we had different vehicles, obviously, but that was my whip. You know what I'm saying? And I would just, man, it's just I use that van as like a metaphor almost, like of my life at that point, because I did a Big Brown Van 2, which was probably 10 years after that. So a lot of stuff had changed from what I initially talked about, but it was more so like almost like Erykah Badu when she had the Window Seat song. That was almost like me just talking about my life and like me driving that van and just kind of, you know, just releasing and just kind of speaking on what my life was at that point. And it was the real stuff that happened. You know, it was people that had died that I spoke about on the first one. You know what I'm saying? I think I might have wrote it right after my mom had passed. So it's like, and that was my mom's van, and it's just a lot of stuff that was going on. But I mean, that's kind of like my I would say my in-depth song, you know. And I have we have a few of those on Plugged In. You know what I'm saying? Like Angels, I'm talking about my mom again, or even my resume. When you listen to My verse, like if you didn't know me, everything in that first verse tells you, like everything straight up,
That's it.
hood stuff, everything. You can listen to that and be like, dang, I kind of know who this man is. You know what I'm saying? Off of that verse, but that's my resume, and that was my resume at that time. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
big brown van. I was, you know what I'm saying, getting on the keys a little bit. And just I just wanted to make a slow, smooth song that you can kind of listen to, and then even the newer version is just kind of making it a little bit more bigger
For that ride,
than
man.
it was.
For
You know
that
what I'm saying?
ride.
Yeah, definitely.
Like cats in the metropolitan areas that got the trains and that type of transportation. That ain't really how we move down south. What you know. And so, I mean, you most of the time when you coming up, you got that old ride that didn't been through everything. You know what I'm saying? You ducking out, you trying to get that money, trying to get the job, whatever it is, going to school and back in these streets in that vehicle. And so, that brown van, that just symbolizes like the journey, And so I just felt like that song was just like genius because it is to us, Southerners, as like the train or whatever, to the East Coast cats, they got trains in LA too. So yeah, bro, that's the one.
Yep.
That's the one.
For sure.
Man, so I mean, you mentioned angels. Let's get into that. Like, I mean, I know on that song, that's probably the deepest song on the project. And in a previous interview, I referenced it too, because I felt like, I was sitting on that one because you cooked it. We went, man, how many versions? We got about 5 different.
Yeah, about 5 or 6 versions of it.
Yeah, I mean, I was feeling the first one because I was just like, man, whatever. Like, didn't you do something with Kirk Franklin too? Something you were saying, something about a tempo.
No.
The second version, you was like, we're gonna do something Kirk Franklin-ish. I was like, what? But it still sounded good. We're just taking stuff out and adding stuff.
Yeah. It was like I got like 4 or 5 different breakdowns because the song, you know what I'm saying, right. I think it was Richard Smallwood. And I mean the song, I don't want to be no heathen, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to bounce it out too much, but I wanted to keep the original premise behind the song and the original feeling behind the song. Yeah. So when you listen to it, you already know, like, oh, what was that on my eye? You already know what it was,
Right. I mean, I think a lot of like hip hop artists, they're spiritual, but on record they're scared to like go there. And so, I'm just happy we just took it all the way there and just kept it like authentic. You know what I'm saying? We ain't really trying to make it a gospel song. It just has some elements of gospel music, which is blues.
I would take that. I'll take a gospel song because see the thing is I don't like when people be like, man, there ain't no gospel. No, gospel is it's what you say from your heart. Period. You know what I'm saying? Like you just a lot of people like, well, I want to tie God into it, but you can tie the big booty chick into it. Like nah, like you can go hard. I remember telling somebody, like man. I don't want to be preached to. You being preached to every day, straight up. Everything is preaching to you. A commercial is preaching to you. That song is preaching to you. It's what you want to be ministered to. So when folks be like, man, I don't want to be preached to, no, you just don't want to hear maybe what I got to say. Or maybe you don't want to hear that. You might want to hear something ratchet, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? So gospel is, it has a defined definition, but it's no different than, your gospel can be, if you're a street gospel, you know what I'm saying? I think one of my, Sugar Free first album is called Street Gospel. You know what I'm saying? That's his gospel. You know what I'm saying? He pimping from Pomona. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, everybody got their gospel, it's just what you want to listen to. Like, what is the gospel according to you? And what do you want to listen to? Because people will say stuff like that and then turn around and be just as ratchet. And it's like, well, that's what you like to listen to,
Right.
And don't let mama pass or something happen in your life, and then now it's like, oh man, I just want to give it up. Like, give it up now. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Well, I mean, I definitely think a lot of people are gonna gravitate to that song for very, because it's a tough time. And I mean, we just got to be thankful and just prayerful that, you know, we got a little money coming and a little place to stay and a little food to eat. Because, man, they got some people out here doing really, really bad. Like, I had to catch myself because I was looking for another side hustle, you know, because primary side hustle kind of got paused due to the situation. And so, you know, I was on a couple websites looking at some things, and I was like, okay, I might do this, I might do that. But then it didn't really fall through. And then I thought about it, I was like, man, you know what? Like, I might be standing in the way of some people who ain't got nothing. And so, you know, I was like, man, let me just be cool with what I got going on right here and just, you know, let this season pass. Because it's going to be time for all that. But it's all about healing, bro. You know, and I think we're gonna be able to do that, you know, with that record and a couple others. Man, for real, I really wanted to start off not only with the toast, but man, I want to give it up for Xavier University, bro. And
XU. I don't even talk about that. XU. I can't even do it with my phone.
I mean, the reason why though, because you know, from Baton Rouge and from New Orleans and South Louisiana, a lot of times I feel like if you not in medicine, Xavier gets overshadowed by Southern. No offense. I love Southern, I love Grambling. That's cool. But, you know, Xavier is special and it's bigger than medicine, you know? And so when we talk about HBCUs and just the history behind it and what it means coming from, that's in New Orleans, it's a big deal. And so it actually brings a lot of people in, not only from the South, but from everywhere in one spot. And I mean, most of the time, y'all graduate. And it's a network and it's a bond that just can't be replaced. And so I know if it wasn't for Xavier, this wouldn't even be happening. Because I didn't even go there. I just happened to be there at the time. And so I know about the culture and I know the significance that it plays, you know, in New Orleans. You know, especially being a 20-something person that's just trying to make some things happen. So, you know, talk about that. Like, how did Xavier change your life and like your trajectory?
Man, Xavier, boy, that's like a lot of people, you know, a lot of rappers and a lot of musicians, like either they overplay that they went to a HBCU or they don't say it at all. And I fall in the middle. Because I don't really press like Xavier and I don't really throw it out there like, man, I went to Xavier. But then when I do, I let people know I went and I graduated. You know what I'm saying? Because Puffy went to Howard, Puffy didn't graduate. You know what I'm saying? A lot of folks went to school, they ain't graduate. No hate, you know what I'm saying? But Xavier changed my life and just, I mean, I was a young dude coming up North Memphis, man. Smart as hell. You know what I'm saying? And my mom, I remember her telling me, you know, like, you know, you go to school. I got scholarships to go to every school in Tennessee, probably all the schools in Mississippi, Alabama, a few in Georgia. I think Clark, Morehouse, Texas Southern was hitting me. It was so many schools hitting me up. Right. But I had a hard GPA. You know what I'm saying? But I had an older cousin, my cousin Kim. What up? That she was down there, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna go. That's my favorite cousin. Man. I'm gonna go down here with my cousin. And, you know, my mom was like, you got to get away from Memphis, straight up. Like, she was like, you ain't going. I mean, shouts out to Suave. Suave went to TSU, not Texas Southern. He went to Tennessee State. Yeah. But that was when Tennessee State was a party school. My mom was like, hell no, you ain't going to Tennessee. Like, it ain't nothing but 2-3 hours. You ain't going to be back home. She's like, I need you to go somewhere where you can't just get home fast. And about, you know, from Memphis to New Orleans, about 6 hours. That's a logistical nightmare. You got to figure out, you know, do I really need to go home for this, you know? And I thank her for that, you know what I'm saying? And I went down there for engineering. I had a degree in engineering. Well, I was going down there, to get a degree in engineering. And like, I lost my mom the first day of finals freshman year, the spring semester. And, you know, a lot of people was like, man, you're not coming back, because I went home that summer. And I buried my mom on Mother's Day that year. And, you know, they're like, you're not coming back. And I came back and, you know, I still kind of went into engineering, but then you just kind of was like, man, you know, I draw. And I was like, man, I want to be an architectural engineer. I want to do these things. I build my mom a house. And then all that stuff just kind of was crumbled. you know, and I was just like, man, I ain't really rocking with engineering. I don't think it's not um, because of grades, but then also it was just focus. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a love for it anymore. So I went into communications because communications is something that I already do. I already write. Everything I brought to communications as a degree set I already had in me. And I mean, I had engineering and stuff in me too, but I mean, with that, I brought that to it. So, you know, I already wrote very well. So I excelled in that. And it's more so it kind of put me in a trajectory where it's more of me versus I would have just got out, been an engineer and had a job. Because I had an uncle, one of the uncles that passed before my son was born. He was Omega, big time Omega. He was an engineer. And, you know, I felt like after my mom passed, I was like, nah, man, it's just not me. You know what I'm saying? Even now, you know, I have my indie thing going on. It was how I was back then. It's just, I couldn't see myself just working, you know, 30 years up under somebody and, you know, like, nah, I'm going to do me. Straight up. So that's what, I mean, Xavier didn't put that in me, but it more so gave me a place where I can, you know, like figure that out. And I figured it out on my own, you know what I'm saying, with the help of mentors and things like that.
Right.
You know?
Right. Man, that's deep. Now, tell me more about, I guess, I didn't realize your mom passed after the first year, but like your support system between the classmates, the roommates, you know, everybody down there. Talk to me about them, because I know, like, I mean, we know a lot of same people, you know, because we connected like that, you know, through my friends. But explain like how that tie in to just sustaining you, and then, you know, with the music, because most of your guys that you came up with, you know, they still do music, but like they're professionals in their own right. They have their degrees, they all graduate together, and so you know, it's just a great feeling, just as knowing that you know, like we on a different level. You know, being black, you know, being educated, aspiring for more, but we still cultivate the art.
I mean, like when I got down there, you want to know something? I didn't really, I was rapping when I was in New Orleans, you know what I'm saying? I met Lyric Hill in front of St. Joe. I could pretty much remember where I met everybody because it was always a battle. I remember I met Crummy, he was Cleon at the time, and Chuck Lyric Hill. I met him in front of, Euphonetics. I met them in front of St. Joseph Hall. I think Melanie, my homegirl Melanie was there. That was they connect off Xavier to Dillard.
Because they went to Dillard, right.
That's and you know, I always did music, but I didn't necessarily record because when I got down there, I only had 2 bags of clothes, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have no equipment. And I would do little tracks here and there, but I mean, just being down there and, you know, like my homies, man, it's just, I'm always a big thing, like, I'm a big advocate of, like, if you're in the studio, you want to get on, let's see what you can do on these records. So that's why so many different people will be on those mixtapes, because I know I was capturing a vibe. I was capturing, I mean, we didn't have camera phones, but we did, Lord have mercy.
We'd be in trouble.
Yeah, we'd be in trouble, boy. But like, I mean, it was just catching that vibe, and I'm like, man, at least from an audio standpoint, just catching that vibe and catching where we were at in the early 2000s, just how we were kicking it really as kids. And I mean, that's just kind of how I, you know, just kind of press forward. Like, I mean, like I said, some of the homies did it, and some of the homies just, I mean, that's in me. Like, I'm as I get older, I'm more of a Quincy Jones. I mean, some people say Dr. Dre. I'm like, ooh, damn, like a Dre, but I'm more of a Quincy Jones. I'm a facilitator of music. I can write music. I can play music. I can collaborate. I can't sing, but I can write the music for you to sing. But you know, that's just something I always did, man. Like, and that was just something to keep me sane. Like, some people smoke heavy, some people drink heavy. I write raps. You know what I'm saying? And that's just kind of what got me through and kept me motivated. And I don't think I ever went to school like, all right, well, I'm like, J. Cole was like, man, I just want to go to school in New York and get signed. I never was that dude. to be like, man, I'm just trying to do this to get signed. Like, no, I want to get my degree. You know what I'm saying? Because I already started on my degree, but I wanted to do that. But then also keep my music popping. Because, you know, I would hear people at the time. And, you know, when crunk was popping on that second wave, like I'm from Memphis, we had been doing that since we were kids. So, you know, I'm like, you know, I got that in me. But man, I'm spitting these rhymes too, but I wasn't all East Coast with it. Because I was there as a child, remembering the bias. I remember them bars, you Bamas, and you know, I mean, I got love for my East Coast folks, you Bamas, and go down south, and you slow. I remember all these records, so I gravitated toward Southern lyricism, the Outcasts, the 8 Ball and MJG, the UGKs. You know what I'm saying? Even locally, the Kingpin Skinny Pimps. You know what I'm saying? The Lord Infamous. You know what I'm saying? You know, like it was these styles that I wasn't hearing anywhere else. And you know, I'm really a amalgamation of all of that. So lyricism, but that Memphis crunk and that Memphis bounce with a little West Coast in it. You know what I'm saying? With a little East Coast in it and Midwest. So it's like a little gumbo of all of that. And a gumbo, you know what I'm saying? In New Orleans, you know.
So let's talk about these deals, because I know, I mean, me being on the lakefront in New Orleans and seeing, you know, the stunners really come through, and you being, you know, in the middle of Uptown, I mean, it was a lot going on. A lot of money being thrown, a lot of promises being made, a lot of side deals. You know what I'm saying? Some people got a little bit, some people didn't get it. Some people got promised something, didn't get it. Some people got on and then it blew up on them and went the wrong way. So, you know, because people always ask me, they're like, man, why you didn't do this, or why you didn't run with this one? And, you know, my answer is real simple. Like, that wasn't the route I wanted to go at the time. But I know you had a whole lot of offers and different things coming your way. And so people always want to know, like, man, you got this talent. When you got talent, people want to like try to like take it and just do something with it. You know what I'm saying? And so we as artists have a decision to make. Are we gonna let that happen? Or are we gonna like really sustain and just hold on to our vision the way we see it being carried out? Why didn't you make that move to try to secure the major deal?
I mean, you got to think, man, like Juicy J lived around the corner from me. Juicy J and Project Pat, period. I'm like, maybe if I didn't grow up around the corner from them fools, I wouldn't see things like they were doing. I remember seeing Juicy sell tapes. Project Pat, I gave him a tape when I was 16. Like, I remember these dudes moving tapes. I remember it went from tapes to CDs to they were nationwide. I was like, I don't have to get signed. And then P came up. And then P, 75, 80 million records. I said, I would never, like, if I wasn't from the South, maybe I probably would have that in my mind to be like, man, I'm gonna go. Like, when I seen, I mean, obviously, Hometown Heroes, you saw Suave House through, you know, you got T-Mix, Tony Draper, Ball and G, Tila. But then you had, on the flip side, you had DJ Paul and Juicy J. Them dudes was getting, at that time, if they were selling the CD for like $15, they might have been getting $10 or $12. It was like something stupid what they were getting per CD. And then they were selling, I think maybe like when they did the Mystic Styles, they might have sold to, I'm a lowballer and say 200, but I think they might have sold 400 of that one. Then came back and sold 200-300 of that one. Skinny Pimp album, he sold like 150, 200 of that. Like, I'm from a city where everyone did it independently. So it's like I had no choice but to kind of see it. Like even Yo Gotti, that came up, we went to the same high school together. It took him a long time to get signed because you were getting so much money independent, it didn't make sense to get signed. Like Young Dolph, like think about it, all the Memphis dudes, like Young Dolph still ain't signed. He signed a deal with Empire. It's something about Memphis. I would say it's something about Memphis, Tennessee, Houston, Texas, and New Orleans, Louisiana. Them three cities, the independent grind is heavy. Baby and P, you got them. And then from Memphis, you got Paul Juicy. You really got Suave House. Draper wasn't really from Memphis, I don't believe.
Nah,
but then you had
Draper from H-Town. He just
yeah, but he connected with some Memphis dude. But you had the Suave House movement. You had Hypnotized Minds, and then really, I would say like the Player Fly, like the Super Sig records and whatever. They were selling a whole bunch of records. And I would go maybe Kia Shine, Kimpo Kia Shine. They were pushing units. But then in Houston, you had Swisser House. Well, before Swisser House, you had Screwed Up Click. I mean, dudes was making so much money independent, it didn't make sense. So by the time when I moved to LA, and you would make these, you know, you would meet certain A&Rs, like it just didn't make sense. I mean, I still don't have these boatloads of, you know what I'm saying, cash, but like I own all my music. So whenever.
And you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Like, I mean.
Let's talk about that trait and that set of details and apply it to today's situation, because we know, you know, physical music not selling. It's all digital. It's all streaming. You might get a download here or there. I mean, you know, you got cats that's famous for a couple months, and then we don't ever hear from them again. Like, how you feel about it? And then, honestly, we gonna go ahead and put it out here because it's us and we do what we want. They not getting paid, not for real.
Nope.
You know, I mean, people taking money out their pocket every angle because it's a 360 deal. So, I mean, what you think about that?
I mean, it's, you know, I mean, I deal with A&Rs on certain songs and stuff, and I mean, the deals, like, I remember one deal came across my email, more so was like, man, you want to get signed to a label, the advance is going to be $75,000, and that's it. And I think it said it like, that's it. You can send your music over, we're looking for new talent, but that's what your advance will be. And it was almost like, that's all you're going to make. Almost, you know. I was just like, nah, I can't do that. I've been up, you know, dealing with some folks at Capitol Records before QC went over there. They ain't had nobody over there. They didn't even have an urban division to really even nurture, you know, something over there, because they weren't really, you know, there was a house that Sinatra built. You know, they weren't trying to do, house that Sinatra built and the Beatles, because, you know, all that stuff is over there at Capitol. So, I mean, it's just, you know, it gets to a point now where, like, yeah, everyone's, I'm independent. It's like, no, you have to do it now, because now it doesn't make sense to get signed. It doesn't. Like, even the money that they throwing at you, that's really all the money you're going to see. If you get $1 million deal, that's the last million you may see. You know, and or they'll sign you when you hot. Like, it's something where I've been making music where I can go back to older songs and redo them, and like these dudes may have one album literally in them. Or you're betting you living by the single, you dying by the single. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, the singles can be hot. Like, let me take for example, like somebody like OT Genesis. That's the only dude I see right now winning. Every time he drop a single, that junk go. Period. But that's hard. OT Genesis is maybe one out of a million.
He put the work in too.
Yeah, like he's one out of a million. But then also you get to a point where if you winning so much like he is, do you want to hear OT Genesis album? Do you want to hear a Flow Rider album? Nah. So you kind of get pigeoned in to a road where you may not necessarily like you eating, but maybe if you want to kind of show something different, you know, maybe if you've grown, you know, it's like, I don't know, it's depending on what you want to do with your career. Me, you know, I'm not content, but I know what my worth is and my value. And yeah, I'm almost like a Nipsey Hussle. Like, Nipsey waited a long time to sign. And when he did, he had all the leverage that he needed to get the most advantageous deal for him. Because, you know, he had been, I met Nipsey Hussle. I met Nipsey probably 10 years prior to him being murdered. And he was talking that then. Like, man, you know, that's why I was like, man, I rock with him. Like, man, I'm going independent. I just got dropped from my label. But, you know, I'm about to do this mixtape thing. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this mixtape thing too. You know what I'm saying? Man, stay that way. I think I told him that. Like, man, stay like that. And, you know, we just had like a little small talk. And, you know, but he was a hood dude, but he was smart. He wasn't like the regular hood dudes. Like, now everyone think they can be independent and they don't have the content to be independent. Because now you have people that have the want to be independent, but then when it's time to produce music, they can't produce music the way that a label wants you to produce music. Because if you're a singles-based artist, they want you to produce hits. They ain't gonna want no album cuts. Like a J. Cole doesn't have to produce hits because he's shown his worth as a platinum-selling artist because he's an album guy. Same thing with Kendrick Lamar. He's an album guy. Drake is the only one that can get away with murder because Drake ain't really the album guy, but he don't really have to depend on his albums because his singles are so big. So that's why when you do the trilogy, people tend to say Kendrick, Drake, J. Cole. You know what I'm saying? Because K-Dot is, he can give you the album and give you the hits. Drake is gonna always give you the hits. He may not give you the album. And then with J. Cole, he's gonna give you the albums, may not give you, deliberately may not give you the hits, you know?
Right. You know, it's funny you say that, the trilogy, that whole, and then you got the second tier guys who came in around that same time. They all got the same mindset. And honestly, their products are actually pretty good, you know.
Yep.
Say that, you know, I'm talking about Wiz Khalifa, Currency, and all them too. And so, you know, we're kind of in the same category when we talk about the years and all that, because we know that, you know, some of those guys were out in the street when we were really out in the street too. And so just to know, because we got a lot of kids watching, school kids stuff, that it takes time. This ain't no overnight thing. And I think that's a cool part about like what we're doing, you know, with this project right here. Like we're actually revisiting some old ongoing issues that people always think about, talk about, but they can't put their finger on it. Like, I mean, we're actually like exposing, you know, not in a bad way, but we're shedding light on some things that need to be said. You know, we ain't hiding it. You know, it's all there. And
well, not only that, not to cut you off, not only that, but it also showing you, man, you can do music whenever you want to. Like, you could be, like, I hate the word relevant. Like, oh, you're not even relevant. Like, what's relevant? Because you're not popping on the charts, man. There's people that are out here making music and they're making an impact. Like, I mean, if you're chasing the charts, you're going to be chasing, man. That's going to be a tough case. But, I mean, there's people out here that's making the music that they want to make and they eating. And they eating, comfortably eating. You want to be like, I want to make 30 million when you can make $1 million, you know? And it's like, nah. And like, I'm gonna continue making music. A lot of people got in it and they not in it for the long haul. Like, don't tell kids to be like, hey, well, if you just stay at it and then be like, well, 10 years in, it ain't pop, I'm not doing it no more. Because music don't work like that. You mess around and be like Wes Montgomery with the jazz. Like, Wes Montgomery didn't pop until he was in his 30s. You know what I'm saying? 2 Chainz didn't really pop. He was still Titty Boy. You know what I'm saying? He didn't pop into his late 30s. Ross, mid 30s. Jeezy, but Jeezy was in his 30s when he started popping.
Jeezy can't, but boy, that movement was strong in 04.
Yeah.
That's why I do remember. Woo, it was strong. It was strong.
Yeah, it's like
they had a lot of money.
Gucci, a lot of these guys, and it's like a lot of people that are coming up, even Jay Electronica. He's way older than me and you, and he still, you know, got people that are anticipating his product. So it's all about like just finding your lane and just attacking that lane. You know what I'm saying? Because like underground almost was like a pejorative to people. Like, man, you underground. Like, nah, I stand on underground every time. Overground, underground. I stand on it. You know what I'm saying? What Denzel say? They know me even if they don't know my face. You know what I'm saying? Oh, American Gangster. Like, they know who I am. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody else ever said overground, underground. That's my thing. It's been my thing since 1999.
You've been right.
Because I saw the paradox then that everybody ain't gonna make it mainstream, and even if you make it mainstream, you're not gonna stay on top forever. When we was in college, Lil Jon was on top. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't stay on top forever. Even Drake is feeling he's running out of things to do.
Yeah.
Right then, that's the style. I mean, I don't know. People ain't Tootsie sliding, but it's hard to Tootsie slide when you got a mask on. You know what I'm saying? And you in the house, you can't Tootsie slide with your chick. You know, so the music got to be a little deep. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be talking about a little bit more and a little bit more relevant. You know what I'm saying?
Now look, we got about 5 minutes. You know, I'm looking at what the logistics. I do want to ask you, if you can explain to the people how can they get the new album, because it's about to go down. It's about to be in a bunch of different spots. But you know, what's the approach? How's it gonna come out?
All right, well, Plugged In will be out May 15th as a Bandcamp exclusive. It will be on Mr. J's Bandcamp because I don't want to, you know, I wanted to go straight to Mr. J's Bandcamp because, you know, I want to have a direct focus, support, drop your emails, man, bless us with a little Corona blessing, you know what I'm saying?
It's a stimulus pack.
Little stimulus, you know what I'm saying, to support
opening up over the weekend. And you know, we got the ride music or the house music. You know, I'm not gonna be out there. I'm being a house monster, but y'all need to come get it. You know,
and we're gonna be on Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, Google Play in the next week. So based on what the distributor's telling me, we should be next Friday.
Friday to Friday. So this get it early though. Get it early.
You want to get it early, but then we have the streaming, and then I think it's like. It's a few different stores, but the main ones are Spotify, Tidal, Google Play, and Apple Music. And then from there, got some T-shirts, some merch that are gonna come after that. I'm working on some Plugged In merch.
They want to see the TGIF video.
Oh yeah, we're working on the TGIF video. Hopefully, based on what we hear back from the fans and the supporters off of this one, we'll see what the next video will be. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? The Ronas ain't stopping nothing. We're going to get it going. We're going to be creative. And, you know, we're going to stay plugged in with it. For sure.
Memorial Day to Labor Day. And then from, because see, what they say, they got a 3-point release process. We got the same thing. Memorial Day to Labor Day. And then after Labor Day, we're going to push to Christmas. And then after Christmas, you know, we're going to bring in the new year with that new, because we got a whole bunch of surprises. Now, I do want to ask you this, because we've been working on this, just kind of going back and forth like we are right now, long distance range, for at least 10 months. How many solo projects have you put out there in the last 10 months? Because I can't keep up. Like, and so,
you said last 10 months?
Last 10 months. Because I think I know the number, but I'm probably wrong.
Well, I mean, it's like working on some production, Miss on the Statistic. I mean, we got some instrumental projects. The only project I actually put out in the last 10 months would be the Interludes EP, which is just like, you know,
I don't believe that. Didn't you put out some beat discs?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Miss on the Statistic Melanin, the Melanin tapes.
Okay.
1, 2, and 3. And then what else? That is it in the last 10 months.
Okay. I said 5, so that's about 4.
Yeah.
You know, because people are always trying to figure out like how you work. And I think you described it best saying, man, you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't do that crazy recreation stuff, you write. And so I know, because I've been there, you know, you write, but sometimes you don't write and you just go. You know, like in a normal week, how many songs you write?
Well, I mean,
or record, or you just be in the zone?
Well, I mean, usually, because now I got a phone, you know, so I mean, I kind of write notes and stuff down, so I don't write full songs, but when I sit in front of a beat, I write out a song straight out. So, I mean, how many have I written in a day? Maybe I'm like on Tupac level, like a 3 or 4, like full songs. But then now, you know, it's like people ain't really going for the third verse, so it's a little amending. But yeah, usually songs, it doesn't take me long, because once I get what I'm like going thematically, because sometimes I don't want it to have them so deep and be like, hey man, you know, this song is about the neurological synapses of the metaphysical. Like, nah man, we talking about big booties, or we talking about sundresses, or we talking about ride through the hood, or you know what I'm saying, we talk about these haters, which is the number one.
What's our song off of Interludes? The Megan Thee Stallion song. Which one is that?
Yeah, Twerk Insurance. You know what I'm saying? Girls out here looking fine with their reassurance. They break it down. They need some twerk insurance. You know, they got to work them knees out.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they're doing.
That might be the summer. That was supposed to be the summer record. You know what I'm saying? I still, I'm gonna have it out there. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be working plugged in, but definitely that joint is moving.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to merge that on one of the videos on the end or something. On one side. We're gonna work that out. Probably get a contest going since everybody trying to do their home workouts.
Yep.
With that twerk insurance. That's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's that one, and that was actually what was this? Oh my gosh. It was I took the hook from a verse that I did in the song off the 38127 mixtape. So yeah, I think I might have been 5. You said 10 months? Because I usually drop those, the 38127, which is my zip code in Memphis, the Bay Area, North Memphis, and I think it was a track from there, and I took that line to talk about the twerk insurance and made that into a song. So,
that's well, look,
gotta do something for the lady.
We're gonna wrap this up so we can finish preparing this release. L'Daialogue Dicaprio live from Los Angeles, California.
Yeah.
This is Jay. I'm in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans somewhere, trying to stay dry. Plugged in, coming out.
Yeah.
May 15th. That's what we're gonna say. Friday special.
Yeah, man.
Download it, stream.
The odds of May. You know what I'm saying? The odds of Mars, man. The odds of May, man. You know what I'm saying? And bump that jump, man. It's some real good music. You know what I'm saying? It's on a different level, but it's good riding music. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
Cool. I'll see you soon.